right, so I have an
that.
after show that is only on YouTube. So it's just for YouTube subscribers and viewers, I guess. And did you ever watch Inside the Actor's Studio?
I did not.
Do you know about it though? Do you remember it?
I do not.
Okay, you don't know anything about it. Okay,
No.
so it was a show on Bravo when I was growing up. I was like a teenager when I was watching it like religiously. And it was actually hosted by the dean of the Actors Studio at Pace University in New York. And he would interview stars, like the biggest names, like only the biggest names went on this show. And he would ask them basically in front of all the students of the theater school about their career, about like things that, that are noteworthy in their process, things like that. So it was basically like what we're doing here, but about acting and theater and directing and producing. Okay. So I loved that show. But the reason I loved that show is at the end of it, he would ask a set of like 10 questions to every one of his guests. They were called the Pivot Questionnaire. It's actually based on a French show, and James Lipton borrowed it for his show. So I've taken inspiration from that and created a pet-related equivalent of the Pivot Questionnaire. So really, I already know your answer for the first question, but it's just like, and I call it last call because it's like when you are at a bar and you've had a few and it's last call and you're like more open to sharing your life story with strangers. So like that's where we are. We're like at last call. I'm asking you all these touchy-feely questions and you're just going to answer them. Perfect. All right. First one, favorite breed?
Golden Retriever.
So if you did not watch Jake's interview, I'll put it right here so that you can link to it because he has a Golden Retriever blog. All right. Least favorite breed?
Oh, I'm going to get some flack for this. Pit bulls.
Pit bulls? Why?
There are 3 pit bulls in our neighborhood, and we've had some unfortunate run-ins with them all.
It's personal then. It's not about the breed. It's about those 3
It is
personal.
It is personal.
Well, you know what? It's funny. I've had even dog trainers be like, I don't like German Shepherds because one German Shepherd bit me. Right? So like, it's usually personal. So
yes. Totally... Our neighbor has one, and he doesn't like Oliver, and Oliver's scared of him. Oliver's a big pansy. Well,
I mean, they can be pretty intimidating. I mean, that's why they're used as fighting dogs, right? They're intimidating dogs. They're usually wonderful, super, like I used to be a pet care provider before this. And every pit bull that I ever took care of was like the biggest goober you've ever met in your life. Like truly, like they were huge and just wanted to sit in your lap and like lick your face. Like they were the sweetest things. But yes, in some areas with some owners, they're really intimidating because they're bred and trained to be really scary. So they're successful in that sometimes. So you already mentioned this during the episode. So Oliver sleeps in your bed, yes?
Yes, for the first hour of the night.
For the first hour only. And then he kind of just does his own thing?
He has a weird rotation. He goes from our bed to the bathroom, like kind of underneath the toilet, to his bed, to the floor on my wife's side of the bed, and then he ends up on the floor next to me. Almost on the hour.
Any theories on why this little
idea.
Musical laying spots happens? Oh my gosh, how funny. That's so cool. I wish sometimes these are the kinds of things that make me want to like be like, just get into the psyche of a dog for like a minute and be like, why are you doing this?
What do you do? Why are you doing this?
What is under the toilet that makes you want to go leave a bed to go like curl up around the toilet?
And it's a hard tile floor. Like you have a nice bed. We have a nice bed.
Yeah. Like it's so nice, but he chooses the bathroom. I don't know. You know what? My dogs do weird things all the time, but so do my kids. So I feel like it's just like a thing. Who or what wakes you up in the morning?
Unfortunately, my alarm.
So it's not Oliver. Is he a morning person or no?
He did wake me up all the time. And he would just kind of like sit in front of me and like pant and like just stare at me, and I could like feel him staring at me, and then I'd open one eye and be like, oh, you didn't see me, I'm still sleeping. But then he'd be there for like 3 minutes. I'm like, all right, let's go pee. And then he goes up, he goes pee, and then he would come and sleep in the bed with us. Aww. So I used to wake up every Saturday and Sunday morning at like 6:30 or 7 just to take him to pee, just so that he could go. And he didn't even have to pee. He was just in the routine. He didn't understand that it was the weekend. So we just take him to like pee like a little bit, and then he'd go sleep in the bed with us.
When I asked you if you had any kids, you said not yet. So I'll tell you this, you're ready. Like you are prepared because that's what they do. That's what they do. They wake you up in the morning for absolutely no reason. They don't know. My 4-year-old, he just turned 4 and he still asks me every day, are we going to school today? And it's like this whole week they're off of school. And every day it's, are we going to school? No, this week. But he doesn't understand the week. Like he literally doesn't even know what a week is. Like he kind of understands, like his birthday was Friday. So he keeps telling everybody that, but he only understands that because he's heard me say it. So you're ready. You're ready. When you're ready, you've got the training. And I do think that dogs are like the perfect training for parenting, even though parenting is more relentless because dogs are actually, I don't know, dogs are just easier and they're more intuitive. You know, like they're more intuitive. Like, okay, now we sit. Okay, now we sit. Like kids are like, we're not sitting. We're not doing that at all.
And it's fast. Like the puppyhood was terrible, but it was really fast. Like within
Golden
after like a couple months.
Are hard puppies.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I had a golden retriever client who ate through drywall.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah. Did you crate train, Oliver?
Yes, we did.
Okay. I highly recommend crate training for a golden retriever because if they're mouthy, they could be destructive if left to their own devices. And this family did not crate train him, or they did. And then they did at some point with crate training, you kind of test the waters. And I think that they might have had to take a few steps back that day because they had crate trained him. Then they were like, let's see if we could leave him out half the day. And the dad's like, redoing drywall the next morning. So yeah.
Oh gosh.
No, word to the wise. All right. What is your most used training commander cue with Oliver?
Ooh, most used is probably sit. But the one that we're like kind of most excited about is come. Just so that, if we're hiking or like we're in a field and he's off leash, he better come.
Yeah.
So we work on that all the time. That's the most important one for me.
So, you said something during the episode, that you said, like, if you can't get something under control, you reach out. Like, you're not perfect. Oliver's not perfect. But I think people don't realize that like training is constant. It's just like raising. I don't even call it training so much. I call it raising, right? Like we're raising my kids. We're raising my dogs. My dogs are 9, 12, and 14, and I'm still raising them because, they develop new habits. They develop new interests. Just like kids do, right? Like a 3-year-old is very different from a 12-year-old, but we're still training and raising them, right? We're still creating their, like safe environments for their age. So like training is not something that you do once and just like stop. Like training is like every single day thing. And I think a lot of people are like, oh, I took a class when he was 6 months. Like we're done training. Like, no, you're not. Especially something like recall. You're training that every single time because you need them to be perfect if you're letting them off leash, right?
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, even if you're not letting them off leash and they happen to get outside of the house on accident, then they better come. If they're running towards like, some kids down the street or another dog or towards the road, they better come.
Exactly. Don't stop training. So speaking of training, what is your least used training commander cue? One that you don't use often that you wish you did, or one that you're completely against that you will not use?
So drop it is probably our worst command. So we talked about how golden retrievers are mouthy. He just doesn't want to drop it. We're working on it. We are working on it a lot. And that's just the one that he just doesn't seem to get. He's a little bit of a turd. And he just
they all are.
Yes. He's stubborn, he's a turd. So we're trying to make it more fun to drop it. But
you know what I found, and this is just based on I took care of hundreds of dogs, right? So I didn't know what they knew at home or not. Leave it works better than drop it, because leave it you can do preemptively before they pick it up and when it's in their mouth. So it's like one command for all of it. So maybe try that. Maybe try a new command and see if he'll take to it. Because leave it. I even say it to my kids. I'm like, leave it. And they're like, it works. They're like, ah. So yeah, try and leave it and see if it works.
We were in Colorado a couple of months ago, and we were like running around in this field, and Oliver grabbed like the pelt of like a chipmunk or something. Ugh. It was in the winter, so it wasn't like gross, but it was like just fur, and he has having the time of his life. He's never been more happy.
Right.
Absolutely not.
Why would he let that go? That's like the most prized, his most prized possession.
It honestly was. I've never seen him so happy, and I was like, oh gosh, this better not be like diseased. This is not good.
Every time something like that happens, I'm just like, probiotics.
Yes.
So that like gives me some kind of like comfort. I'm like, probiotics. And then you're like taking it out of their mouth. Thankfully, yeah, like you said, it was probably frozen winter.
Yes.
It was not like fly ridden and disgusting.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
If it was like in Florida in the summer.
Oh no.
That would have been real
bad. All right. What pet related noise do you love?
This is weird. I like meowing. I don't like barking, and I'm very thankful that Oliver doesn't bark, but I think meowing's like cute and fun. I've never had a cat, so maybe I would get sick of it, but I like it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the cutest communication ever. I mean, I guess next to purring, but yeah, but I guess if you had a cat, they like boss you around with the meow. So then you'd probably develop a little bit of a dislike for it, depending on what time of day it was at.
Okay, I can see that.
They're like meow, meow. It's because they're like angry meowing or like cute meowing, and when they're angry meowing, it's usually because you haven't filled their bowl yet. What pet-related noise do you hate? Barking.
I don't like barking. Golden retrievers don't bark that much, and I'm very thankful. Especially yapping.
Oh,
like little
the
yapping
schnauzer,
dogs.
like the schnauzer yap.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, my family loves schnauzers, and I'm like, schnauzer? Like I would never have one. Like that's why I asked this question, because I like to normalize the fact that some dogs are not for everybody, and like schnauzers are my sister and my mom's favorite. They love a schnauzer, and I think they're the most adorable when they're cut in their schnauzer cut. But they are not easy. Yeah, they're not easy dogs. They're like a one-person dog. They're super crazy loyal, but they're not super easy with kids. So like for me, like they're not the best dog, and they bark. My sister's dog barks. She lives in Spain, and I FaceTime her, and I'm like, I can't talk to you because your dog is barking, and my kids are screaming. So like we just cannot connect. So yeah, I mean, some breeds bark more than others. So do you think as a breed in general, golden retrievers are not big barkers?
Yes. I believe it's because they were bred as hunting dogs. So if they were to bark, they would scare the ducks away and the birds away. Unlike like a beagle that are like baying when they're hunting or whatever, because they're all chasing and they need to communicate. Dogs or goldens need to be quiet, otherwise they're going to scare the ducks.
That makes perfect sense to me. That's perfect. All right, so you are not necessarily like in the pet profession, but is there a profession that you would maybe want to try within the pet industry?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't like dealing with other people's problem dogs, and I also don't like dealing with other people. So no.
What do you do for like full-time work?
Actually, I do. I'm a marketer, so I write for full time. So I write about fish for my fishing, saltwater fishing for my full time job, and then I write about dogs for my fun.
That's so cool. Okay, so you're a writer. Yes. Definitely not like a customer service type.
No. I did customer service. I worked in restaurants and bars, and I did customer service in my first few jobs, and I didn't like it. I'd much rather sit behind a computer and just type away all day.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think that I worked in restaurants as well. I was a server, host, whatever. I never bartended. I bartended in my house. But I think everybody should be a server. At some point in their life, everybody should be a server, because 100%. You will always first appreciate service people first. Mm-hmm. And second, you learn to speak to people. You learn to handle conflict. You learn to manage time. You learn so many skills that are so important that I hope my kids will at some point in their lives wait tables. I really do. And most people don't hope that for their kids, but I think they'll learn so much 100%. That they are going to really benefit from it. All right. Yeah. What pet related profession specifically would you never want to try?
Training aggressive dogs.
Oof.
That would not be fun for me.
That's a big one. I don't think I would ever want to do that either. That is a huge responsibility.
I've talked to a lot of trainers and they're like, oh, I specialize in aggressive dogs at rescues. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how do you do that? I have so much respect to them.
Yes. It's a huge responsibility. And I feel like I would lose so much sleep over these dogs and over the people around them and the, making the decision to, euthanize for behavior, those kinds of things. It's a very hard job for sure. All right, last question. If the Rainbow Bridge exists, who is the first pet to greet you when you arrive?
Oh,
maybe one from your childhood.
So I've got a pet snake, and he's 21 years old. So I don't think he's ever gonna die. He's gonna be 22 in December. I got him when I was in 3rd grade. So that was like my first time. He's still here.
Stop it. Yeah. 3rd grade, and he's, oh my gosh. How old was he when you got him? Not to do the math, but like.
He was like 6 months or something. Or I don't know, he was a couple months. I'm pretty sure I got a good report card in 3rd grade. And so we got him in, I believe, May of, I don't know, like 99 or something. So
and he's still around. And does your wife Danielle like this snake?
So when we were in college, we weren't allowed to have pets, and of course I had Slim. Slim's his name, and he was in my closet. And then my roommate got a puppy, and we got busted for having the puppy. So I was like, oh no, if they come in, we're gonna have to get rid of the snake. So my wife's apartment did allow pets. Or she was my girlfriend at the time. And so I asked her, hey, do you mind taking Slim for a year? So she took him for the rest of the year. And that was what I knew.
Saint. She's a saint. You take care of Miss Danielle or Mrs. Danielle, okay? You take care of her because she is a saint. I would have been like, boyfriend? No, I'm not taking your snake. Not. Oh my gosh. So Slim for Slim Shady?
So Slim Shady and Slim Jim. Like Slim Jim.
I was like in 3rd grade. I don't know if you were listening to Eminem or not.
Eminem. So like my first album I had 2 albums. I got Blink-182 and Nelly.
my first CD was Salt and Pepper.
Ooh, very nice. But yes, I do love Slim Shady.
Yes, I know. I mean, who doesn't like Eminem? I mean, I guess he's problematic, but
there's probably a lot of people who don't like him.
A lot of people don't like him. All right, well, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. It's been so fun. I wish you nothing but success with your blog. I am going to share it and make sure people know about it. And if I find any good rescues, I'll let them know about it as a resource for their
cool. Yeah,
let
me know if I'll put them on the blog. I got a big list of every rescue in every state, just so that people have no excuse not to find a golden retriever rescue.
Oh my gosh, I love that. That's awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely share that far and wide. But thank you again. Have an awesome evening. I say hello to everybody back there, to Danielle. Tell her I said you're a saint, and
I will.
She needs like a gift. Okay, she needs like a big gift for whatever anniversary of taking care of Slim is coming up. She needs a big gift.
Oh, 10. 10, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'll have to go.
Slim needs to give her a gift.
He's gonna give her a mouse.
No. Jewelry. Right, Snakes always give jewelry.
I'll find something nice for him. Definitely not snakeskin boots or anything.
No, that would be inappropriate.